Hey guys, so I thought I would do a little bit of a I get ready with me chit chat style. Today is my birthday. I turned 30 today, and I'm both excited about it, and at the same time I feel it's very anticlimactic because just the position of life that I'm in right now is just not exactly where I saw myself when I'm turning 30. I kind of thought I would be, in a nice job, hopefully working for myself. That was always the dream, was to work for myself. I thought I'd have a nice house, that I'd be driving a nice car, and things just have not panned out that way at all. This is not going to be like a whoa, feel sorry for me video, because everything that has gone wrong in my life has been my fault. I haven't necessarily had people around me to point out that I'm doing stupid things, but I shouldn't be relying on other people to tell me that I'm doing stupid things. I should be able to self-regulate, especially by the age of 30. Self-regulating should be a thing. So I've just gone in with the Becca Backlight Primer Filter. I'm going to go in with my Smashbox High Definition Concealer, just in the inner corners to correct the blueness. I had already tried to film a Get Ready With Me kind of chit chat thing, talking about the same subject, and it turned into a weepy mess. It's a very touchy topic for me to talk about, especially when it's a corner I've backed myself into. It's a hole of my own digging. I'm going with the Touche Magique Concealer for brightening. I got a comment on my last haul video from a subscriber, who in my head I call Bo for short. I'm not sure if it's Bew Inlet or Bow Inlet, but I call you Bo for short in my head. And she commented and basically called me out for my bullshit, because here I am saying I'm in all this trouble and that I'm going on a low buy, and then I go and buy all this makeup. It was 14 eyeshadow palettes in total, I think it was. About 14 eyeshadow palettes when, I'm supposed to be on a low buy and saving money. And she called me out for my bullshit, and I completely respect her for it, because it's the truth. I used the idea, the excuse, the crutch of, oh, it's for my makeup kit, to overbuy makeup. And I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I do have issues with spending and shopping. It's a thing. For the most part, my shopping tends to be a reaction to stress. Initially, when I lived with my parents, I was stressed out by lack of job satisfaction and the fact that I live with my parents, so I would shop, when really what I should have done was get a better job and move out of my parents' house. That would have been the logical thing to do, but that requires effort. And I went for the easy option because I'm stupid sometimes. And then we moved out, My stress was mostly focused on the fact that I'm in debt. Now, a lot of the money that my debt is built up with is the interest on the initial purchases of the makeup. So, if I hadn't bought the makeup in the first place, I wouldn't then have the interest to be now paying off. I would make my payments, but then chunks will be clawed back by interest. That's how they get you. Yes, there were some adult purchases in the mix there, paying for movers and buying fridge and washing machine and carpets and stuff, but that does not make that big financial mess, trust me. So while I do try my best and have been trying my best to not use shopping as a means of like a coping mechanism with stress, I do slip up, and I have been slipping up less often each time, but I still slip up and it's not okay. Like being an Avon representative, it's quite easy to be like, oh, that's pretty, I'll have one of those. And though quite a few of those little, oh, I'll have one of those adds up. Like with the, oh, I needed new stuff for my makeup kit. That got out of control real quick, didn't it? And the irritating part about it, that in particular, was the people that had booked, because I had appointments lined up, and none of them even had the decency to cancel. They just didn't show up, didn't reply to my messages. It's like, why? I really don't understand why people do that. They go out of their way to seek you out, ask you about your service, book an appointment, and then, not show up. It's a pain. It's irritating. So, because I had clients, I did need to get new concealers. That was a must. My foundations and powders are great. They're fine. I needed concealers. I needed mascara. And I figured while I was picking up a few basics, I would expand on my kit a bit. And that's where it really let loose, isn't it? Sorry, I'm not even talking to you about what I'm doing. I'm mixing the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light with some of the Revolution liquid highlighter drops in the shade Liquid Starlight. I'm just popping that on. And this is where things really sort of kicked off for me. My brain fell into old patterns, and I'm not saying this as an excuse. It's just what I was thinking at the time, just being honest here. I was like, well, I have my Viseart palettes, and I love them, but I wanted to build on the colour story that I have in my kit. So I picked up a few colourful palettes. In my defense, I did think one of those colourful palettes was pastels, and it ended up not being pastels, so don't let me away with it. But that was a bit of a bummer, thinking I was buying something that I wasn't. But I wanted to build up on the colourful shades, get more of like the greeny blues, a bit more of the purple going on, because it's in my head. I was thinking about doing reviews, about doing tutorials, about being relevant. That is the pitfall for any person who does any sort of beauty content online. You end up feeling like you need to be relevant. In other news, I'm trying to get my two kids to sleep in the same room at the same time, at the same time. Fun and games, guys. Fun and games. That I was on the topic of relevance. It's stupid. Like, when I think about it, it's really stupid because we've, as a beauty community, we have long since grown past this idea that you need to have the biggest, the best, the latest, the greatest. We've sort of fragmented into different sections, and everyone has their own different audiences. I'm going with the boho chic cream blush. And that's something that I feel has born out of the project panning community, mostly. There were creators before who would do like 4 looks, 1 palette kind of thing. The first YouTuber I ever saw do that kind of thing was Kristen Game. And she always did them with like neutral palettes and stuff. She would get like a new Tarte palette or the new Lorac palette or whatever, and she would do several different looks using the palette, and it would serve as a really in-depth review, and it was amazing. I loved watching it. And then it spiraled into the latest and greatest culture, and so throwback became a thing, and people would do like throwback Thursdays. In particular, I can think of xoxo and that girl Shay XO, or is it just that girl Shay? I can't remember. I will link everyone I talk about in the info box. And then came the panning community and Amber F with Pan That Palette, and the need to use what you have to create relevant looks out of older products. Like you're working within a palette for the whole year. You're gonna need to get creative or be very, very bored. I'm going in with my brow pencil. This is the Perfect Sculpting Brow Pencil from Mark. And if you can think of any other YouTubers that do this kind of content, feel free to recommend them in the info box. I'm not very up to speed with who to watch at the moment. I'm very into I think it's Paulina Beauty and Angelica Nyqvist. Love her. And Hannah Louise Poston, I love her as well. She just has this gorgeous, effortless glam vibe about her. I love it. But it's through the years of, and it's quite ironic, through the years of watching Project Panners and watching Pan That Palette, that I've kind of learned this concept of identifying looks within palettes. And when I was picking out the palettes that I ended up choosing, I was like, well, let's look at the colours and see how many looks I can get out of them before I pick them up. And if I can't get 5 or more looks out of a palette, I'm not touching it. Yeah. Maybe I should have went with 10 or more and I would have bought less palettes. But I got a little carried away with it. But now that I've made the purchase, I might as well make the best of a bad decision. I love everything that I picked up. They're all beautiful. They're all fabulous. I've got swatch reviews going up on my blog really soon about all of them. This does not in any way justify the purchase of any of them. In reality, if I was picking things up just to bolster my makeup kit, I think the which one is it? If we're talking in terms of just bolstering my makeup kit, the Morphe palettes would have been sufficient. This is the Dare to Create palette. Oh, and there goes the sheet. The colours in here are fabulous. Yes, it is a little bit big, but it covers all the bases. It has all the purples that I wanted. It has all the greens for what is very hip and trendy, the navies and your turquoises for the summer smoky eyes that everybody wants. Plus it's got a good dose of neutrals in about so that you can work out of the same palette and still do pops of colour if that's what a customer wants. Same with, is this the one? No, this is the Colour Burst one. This is a rainbow palette, but it is a beautiful rainbow palette. Within these 3 palettes that I'm showing you now, I could get 30 plus looks out of each one. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. That's what made me so excited for them to arrive, to be able to get into them, to play with them. Like this sort of green section along here, I'm very, very excited. So admittedly, I could have just picked up those three palettes and been done with it. But like I said, I was looking for slightly cheaper, more accessible options just in case everything is a just in case, isn't it? That's another thing that gets you, just in case. Just in case. Why I hoard things? Just in case. But just in case I am in a situation where things might be stolen, I have done the makeup of friends before and had things go missing from my kit. The odd lipstick or eyeliner, one time a highlight. And I would rather a £4 palette. I would rather a £4 palette went missing than that guy that's like 20 odd pounds and I have to order especially, whereas I can just go and pick this up in Superdrug if I need to. So I'm just going to clean up my brows just a little bit. This was the concealer palette that I used to have in my kit. Obviously it is old now, so I can't use it on other folks. But I'm making use of it on me. So waste not, want not. Next I'm going in with my setting powder. Sorry, my lips are so creaky. Next I'm going in with my setting powder, the Perfect Light Loose powder from number 7. So like I said, now that I have those palettes, I'm going to make the best of a bad decision and do as much practice and get as much out of those palettes as I can. Even if I'm not using them on paying clients, just the act of practicing, doing different colour combinations, different eye styles, maybe getting friends round to practice on them. But the one thing I don't want to fall into is the trap of doing friends and friends of friends for free or for discount. Because things cost money. Services cost money. And I ain't doing this to do it for free. So yeah. And it will take a while before this takes off. There are some really big festivals going on, well, not going on at the moment, but coming up. You have Eid coming up, and then there is, oh my god, please don't crucify me. There are 2 Eids. There is one at the end of Ramadan, and then there is one at the end of August, and it's the end of another festival, both of which are huge events where makeup artists get a lot of business, because Muslim ladies, they go big. They like to look good for a party. It's also summertime is also full of weddings, so you do get the opportunity of a lot of people wanting, particularly wedding guests, wanting their makeup done. And after that you get into people wanting Halloween makeup done, and then into winter formals, Christmas makeup, New Year's Eve. So I am looking at this chunk of time between now and then as a block of practice to just throw myself into this, work hardcore at it, get to the as best as I can be, put my name out there as much as possible, try and sorry, I'm like talking and not actually doing my makeup. Try and get as much recognition and build a name for myself and build credibility. So I'm going in with the Becca Opal bronzer highlight powder. And as I've said before, it's something that does require a lot of energy, and it's something that I'm only just sort of getting the time, the energy to do. Wow, I hit big pan real quick on there. Look at it. Look at it. Motivation, guys, motivation. So lately I've been, if I have the energy, I will film a look every night. I will come home from work, I will wash my face, and I will put on makeup and film a tutorial, and it's very calming and soothing to end the day painting my face just to wash it off again. But it's really relaxing. And I feel like this is going to be a healthier way for me to cope with stress. In terms of dealing with my financial issues, we've restructured a couple of things within our household budget. As I mentioned in my reply to Bo, my spending tendencies isn't just on makeup, it will be on anything. When I did my initial low buy introduction video and set out my rules and parameters, I basically cut off all avenues of spending. But then I would find other things to spend my money on. I would hoard cleaning products. I'd be going to Asda after work to get bits and bobs, and then I'd be like, oh, just nip into Home Bargains and see what's what. And next thing I know, I'm coming out with another bottle of Cif and a few things of Sephora. I did get my spray mop, which I'm not mad about. I freaking love the damn thing, and it was only £6. But do I need to have 20 odd bottles of Sephora under my sink? No, I don't. Getting into cleaning was a fun therapeutic thing for me. It still is, but again, with everything, I took it a bit too far. I have an amazing stock under my sink now, and I will happily do a video on that if you're interested, but it doesn't need to be as extreme as that. So instead of picking up bits and bobs after work at Asda, we've gone back to ordering everything online and getting it delivered. And it's actually made me happier. First of all, because I'm not spending unnecessary money on cleaning supplies I don't really need and was sneaking into the house. Yeah, I was getting to the bottom of the stairs and moving stuff from the shopping bag into my handbag, and then waiting until I was alone and putting them under the sink. Yeah, I have issues, guys. I have issues. Okay? Did I even say what I'm using? It's the Bali Sunlit Bronzer. I'm going to go in with the Sensuous Rose Blush. So not only am I not now spending random money on cleaning supplies and whatever little bits and bobs I would come across in Asda, like, you know, I'd put a ban on myself, a restriction on myself to only buy 1 book a month. Yeah, I bought like $7 in the last month. Yeah, just didn't, just, it's stupid, guys. So I need to just remove all temptation, and do the home shopping, home delivery. And it wasn't just that, it was the act of having to carry all this stuff home. It was heavy. It took a long time. I would have to stop several times to swap pans, and there was on one occasion a bag had split and I hadn't noticed, and people were walking past and didn't even say anything. And it was, it's like people just have, I don't know, they got no human decency or anything anymore. Like, wouldn't, if you saw someone's shopping falling out of their bag, wouldn't you like tell them? I don't know. So sometimes I wouldn't get home until maybe like 7:30 at night, and I'd get home and it'd be time to get the kids ready for bed or put them in their bath and then get ready for bed, and it would just be so stressful. And on nights when I was getting home later, like 7:30, it was much later than when I would normally come home, and Rowan would be having like a hairy fit because he's like, "Where's mommy?" and just bawling his freaking eyes out because I wasn't home. And that is it's stressful for the kids, it's stressful for me, and it's stressful for my relationship with my husband. Calling him my husband, he's not my husband, he's my partner. But you know what I mean. I would come home and as soon as I'm in the door, it's all boom, boom, boom. There's no period of time for me to even relax, to just get my coat off. It's straight with, oh, this has happened, the children are crying, and you get this done, you get that done. And it's just like, will you just give me a minute to decompress? And then by the end of it, I just want to crawl in my bed. I don't care about anything. Half the time I was falling asleep on the sofa. And now that we've swapped to the home delivery again, the only thing I need to pick up from Asda is like little yogurt pots, and the only reason I do that is so we can know what date it is before it arrives, because you know how the home delivery food is, like they'll give you the shortest date they can. So I just had a 15-minute freak out thinking my camera had broken. I have no idea what was wrong with it, but it was switching on but not showing picture, and it would record and then not stop recording, and that would just be what I need right now. Coming up with an idea for relieving my stress, and then it just all vanishes because my camera broke. But that is what I plan to do, is throw myself into making videos when to deal with stress. I'm going with a matte highlight from the Neutrals 2 palette. Because I want to make content anyway, and it's very, very stressful, and it's not stressful. It's very stress relieving to put makeup on for me. So I'm going to be throwing myself into this, as well as going fairly hardcore with my project panning. So whenever I feel stressy, I'll just turn on the camera and make a video. I'm going to go in with this matte peach shade, well, not matte peach, matte coral shade here. I'm just going to recreate the look that I was wearing in my weekly makeup basket, because I'd recorded this get ready with me before I filmed that video, and my camera did a weird cutout thing and I lost the entire eye and everything I talked about during that portion. So I tried to get as much of what I wanted to say in at the start of the video, just in case it did it again. So I'm just going to pop this on and then take it under the eye as well. So in regards of whatever, when it comes to actually like dealing with the money side of things, like getting out of debt, as I've said before, I've called my creditors and we've come to an arrangement. I have set up direct debits to make sure that that money goes there when it needs to. My next step is to call my energy company and try and get that onto direct debit as well, because I know it will be cheaper if it's on direct debit. In terms of curbing spending money, we are doing the home shopping thing for the groceries. We're also thinking ahead and doing like a menu kind of thing, so that we know what we need. And we're also kind of taking advantage of shopping in slightly cheaper places, like going to farm foods, because it's the same stuff. So why not get some of it a little bit cheaper, right? So I'm going into the Foil Frenzy palette and taking the hot pink. I'm also going to stop purchasing things through Avon as well, unless it's something that I have run out of. Again, it's just kind of like a gateway, or like a crutch, poor excuse, saying things like, oh, testing things for customers, so they can find out if they want it or not. Someone's gonna buy something from Avon, they're gonna buy it regardless of what I say. There's been very few occasions that I've actually sold anything on recommendation. I did pick up a few things in the past 2 campaigns, and there's something coming from the next campaign, and then I think that is it. Because the way just on a quick tangent here, the way Avon works for reps is you get the first lookbook. So say you're on book 1, well, say you're on book like 5, you'll get a thing called the first lookbook, which means you can order stuff ahead of time. So you can order stuff that will be launching in book 7 with your book 5 order. But they also run these things called showcases, where you would see book 7 launching products in book 3. But they also, it's a bit fiddly, because if you order the first look stuff, you can get it 2 campaigns ahead. But if you order from the showcase, you only get it 1 campaign ahead. So instead of it arriving with your book 5 order, it'll arrive with your book 6 order. And you might think, oh, I could have sworn I ordered that. Why is it not showing up? And then you'll order it from the first lookbook, and then you'll put in your book 6 order, and there they are, the things you ordered from the showcase in your order, and you end up with 2. You can return it. It's just a major faff. But it's a bit dodgy, the way they sometimes get you. I'm going to go into this baby pink shade up here, and I'm going to pack this onto the lid. Well, the last few things I picked up from the showcase was before I even considered going on a low buy. Yeah, I could have returned them. I'm now out with the return period, so it's not really an option now, but I'm interested in trying them out. I've had them for a couple of weeks now and I haven't busted them out. I got this Perfect Brow powder liners. I got it in dark brown and I think in brunette. And they're like a powder, it's basically, it's an eyeliner container but with a brow powder inside. I've had the Maybelline one that had a brow powder and I liked it, but the applicator was like a sponge ball thing and it was just too wide, whereas this is a fine line so you can get in there. It's great for, would be ideal for someone with very thin brows. I haven't tried them yet, so I'm not saying they're good for thin brows. But I also picked up a couple of these illuminating, well, the set of the illuminating drops. They're doing a West Coast festival collection with some influencers, I think from Instagram. So yeah, I also have these to play with. The other thing that I did order from the most recent first lookbook, because it's something that I am genuinely interested in and I think I will get questions about because it's a very bizarre product. It's a matte powder lip colour. It's with the Mark Epic lip range. I have some of their lip lacquers and lipsticks and I really enjoy the formula, which is one of the reasons I picked up the lip powders as well, but I think that's definitely going to be the last things that I pick up from Avon for a very long time. Next I'm going to go in with this purplier burgundy colour. Originally I had planned to use all 4 colours in this look, but I ended up only using the 3 and then a bit of the black to line. But I do think you could do an amazing look with that dark red shade. And I'm just going to pop this in the outer corner and bring it. I'm finally getting on top of late orders as well. Pretty much up to date with everyone's orders. So as of the next campaign, I will be in profit, finally actually making money. I know that is something a lot of you had concerns about, whether or not I was actually making money from Avon, and trust me, I would have been making money from Avon a long time ago if I hadn't been buying things for myself, and that's my own stupid fault. I'm just going to take some of this underneath as well. So hopefully this time next year I will be in a much better position financially. I'm hoping to have cleared a large amount of my debt. If I can boost my earnings in some way, that would help. So if you do know anyone in the Aberdeen area that's looking for a makeup artist, my information is in the info box. Send them my way. Or even if you could just like share my YouTube channel with people, that too would be awesome. I remember in the video talking about my debt, a lot of people asked about monetizing my videos. On this channel they are monetized, but it's up to the YouTube algorithm whether or not you see ads. Like some videos you'll see 2 ads in a row and then you won't see ads for the next 3 videos. It all depends on the algorithm and what it decides to show you. On my other channel, the Basic Makeup channel, thank you guys for subscribing if you subscribed. If not, it will be linked in the info box. Come join us. I'm just going to take an angled brush and I'm going to go in with the black, because when I mix the black, in with the rest of it, it creates this gorgeous sort of purple gradient. The basic makeup channel is already pre-approved for monetization. I set up the channel back in, I think it was either 2016 or 2017. No, I set it up in 2017. And it was already pre-approved for monetization. And then in 2018, they brought in the new goalposts, threshold that you had to meet to get your videos monetized. So you need to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours on your content. So it's like 240,000 minutes that you need to have watched before you can run ads. But because the channel is already pre-approved, once I hit that threshold, then within a 30-day period, AdSense will be activated and my videos will be monetized on that channel, which is I'm very grateful for, because if it was starting a new channel from scratch, I would have to go through the process of having my channel vetted by Google staff before I could even be approved for AdSense. And once you get denied AdSense, that's kind of it. I don't think you can reapply. And they go through your videos with like a fine tooth comb, like the slightest like vulgar comment or swear word somewhere, anything that can be misconstrued as offensive, and that's it, you're out, you know? It's one of the reasons I don't talk about real life topics on my channel. I'm going to go back in with that initial coral color just to bring back that color at the top there. So assuming that my camera can hold out long enough, I will have a tutorial coming up on the basic makeup channel every Friday. I will still continue to try and put up a video every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday on this channel. And I'll try and do a review on basic makeup every Wednesday if I can. I'm going to go in with this peachy shade here and use it as an inner corner highlight. I actually have so much planned to do over the next few months that I don't think I would even really have time for shopping. I have gotten some birthday money, which I know I could use to pay off some debt, but I really need a new phone, guys. Like, I really need a new phone. My phone barely even holds charge for 8 hours, and I know it's a luxury, but when you need to contact people and people need to be able to get in contact with you, especially with the kids and that, it is kind of vital. And I've seen one that I want that has everything that I'm looking for, and it's only, I know, I want to say it's £105 with a case. It's a Wiley Fox Swift 2, I think it's called. It's available on Amazon. I'll link it in the info box, but I think that's the one I'm going to go for. There was one that I was looking for in Asda. It was from the same company. Again, it had everything I was looking for. It has great memory, it has good RAM, it has all the up-to-date apps and stuff. One of the additional reasons I'm looking for a new phone is because I'd bought a card reader for doing Avon to just take card payments. But my phone was too outdated to be compatible, and whilst my the Bluetooth was compatible on my tablet, it was too outdated to get a SIM card in to get Wi-Fi, to get internet. So I bought a card reader that I then couldn't use, which was awesome. But if I get a new phone, I'll be able to use the card reader, and it's got I think it's an 8 megapixel front camera and like a I think it's like a 14 megapixel back camera, which is amazing. Most phones that price range, you were maybe getting a 3 megapixel front camera and like a 6 or 7 megapixel back camera, so it's really good value. I'm not a tech person, but I know when I need something specific, I'll research that kind of thing and I will try and get what I think will suit my needs without being too excessive. And that is what I think that phone is going to be. I'm just going to clean it up with my powder brush. I actually really like this eye. I might recreate it for like work. I actually get away with quite a lot makeup wise at work. I think this would be fab, you know, with like a pop of like hot orange, like bright matte orange somewhere in there. Maybe I'd use that in the transition area. That would have been cool. So I'm going to go in with my liquid liner. This is the NYX vinyl liquid liner, sorry. Okay, and I'm just going to finish off with the same lipstick. This is the Bedtime Flirt from NYX. I always love the colour of the NYX lip lingeries, but the formula is not my fave anymore. I used to be fine with it, and then I think the Gen nude lip creams have just spoiled me, because they just feel very like, I don't know, like it's shrinking my lips a little bit and they feel a bit tacky. So I'm gonna zoom you guys out.